Ring-a-ding-ding, kiddies, Crank Cody here, and welcome to the second part of my speculation for the next part of the season. My video for some reason disconnected in the middle of recording, and it still was saved, as you saw the 8-minute, 22-second part, and I just watched, like, the end of it, and it's just me staring there at the screen, and that's because my screen went black, and it said something went wrong. You've been disconnected. So I was just staring at it, and I continued recording a little bit just afterwards, but okay, so I just made it 2 parts. So anyway, as I left off, rumor is that Chris and Teresa for the Hunters have been cast. I'm sure the other 4 Hunters, Albert, David, Greg, and Charlie, will just be kind of like people that you don't really care about, you know, like red shirts. But as I said, Hunters are my favorite. These comics, yeah. I got these out because I think that this part of the season will only cover these 3 volumes. These 3 volumes, you know, I'm going to continue on the Hunters. But yeah, these 3 volumes. In Fear the Hunters, Andrea and Dale are still alive. And if you watched my last one, in the comics, Andrea and Dale are taking care of Ben and Billy. And then Ben kills Billy, and then Ben is killed by Carl. Wow, it's still hot. Andrea and Dale are still in the comics, and they're actually together. Now, when everyone, after the group meets back at the farm, and Abraham and Eugene and Rosita meet with them and join, and then Morgan comes and joins, and everyone's happy, they go to DC, because Eugene is a scientist. You'll find out he's a scientist. He's really a teacher. I have a sneeze coming on soon, so if I sneeze, I'm sorry. Okay. So they go to DC, and then they start, they run into Father Gabriel, who no one's kind of addressed. He is, the very first issue of the Fear of the Hunters is when he's introduced. But no one's talked about him yet. I actually kind of like him. Anyway, they meet up with him, and they're traveling along, and then these people, the Hunters, start stalking their group, and they start, and you know, they're cannibalistic. Chris and the Hunters are cannibalistic hunters, survivors, I guess, and they're really good. They're really good at staying hidden and stuff. And one issue, they capture Dale, who at that time, he's the one that gets his leg bitten, amputated, survives, and gets the peg leg. In the comics, Alan gets bit in the leg, amputated, and he does not survive. But Dale's still alive. And Dale gets captured, and the Hunters cut off his other leg, and they eat it. And I wonder if I can find that part where he's like, he has his big moment, and that's I'm tainted meat. Wait, I got it right here. Yeah, I'm tainted meat. You're eating tainted meat. It's right here. And his leg is right up here, just roasting in the fire, and everyone's like appalled because he's been bit. So Dale's tainted meat, and they eat him, and then Rick comes back and slaughters them, and then Andrea puts Dale out of his misery. That's how the volume ends. But I think in the TV show, what they're gonna do is Tyrese. I think Tyrese is gonna get kidnapped and cut and eaten. I only think that because Tyrese right now is the only male group member, that is already dead. In the comics, he didn't make it. In the comics, he was the one that got decapitated, instead of Herschel. So I think he will be the one that is kidnapped, eaten, and then put out of his misery. Maybe by his sister. That'd be a nice episode, actually. So that's just my speculation. I don't know what they're going to do. No one really does but them. I just think that'd be cool. I like that this season they're sticking to the comics decently well. Not a lot. I mean, the flu wasn't in the comics, but I always like to see them stick to comics because I'm a fan of the comics and the novels and the game and just everything. So I'm a geek. Now, in terms of, this is one thing that's kind of bothering me. They have confirmed that there is going to be another major character death, and that this character has not died in the comics yet. So it's still a character alive in the comics. And that leaves, everyone thinks that leaves Rick, Carl, Maggie, and Michonne. I blanked there, sorry. Rick, Carl, Maggie, Michonne. But in reality, Rosita and Eugene are still alive in the comics, as is Bob Stuckey. Bob Stuckey, the governor, left Penny in the comics with Bob Stuckey, and he's like, take care of her, and then he went out to the prison, slaughtered people, got killed. Woodbury was left alone. We don't know about what happened to Woodbury in the comics after that battle. So Bob in the comics is still alive. And in the TV show, he is a regular, as will be Rosita and Eugene. So I do not knock them out of the list. Abraham in the comics is dead. I will put spoilers in the title and the description. So you should have seen spoilers. Spoilers. I'll probably even put an annotation in the front of these. Spoilers. Abraham is dead in the comics already, and so is Glenn. Sadly. But I don't think it's just Rick, Carl, Maggie, or Michonne. I do think it will probably be Bob as the main death this season, even though he's not like a huge character. He's considered a regular, and I think that qualifies him. I think this part of the season they will give us more like backstory and make us like Bob like a lot. Maybe he'll do something that is like really cool and likable, and then they'll just kill him somehow. Maybe he'll be the one that gets kidnapped by the hunters and eaten. Maybe Tyrese will get, but he's not. Okay, well, I think it's Bob. If it's not Bob, if those three that I listed don't count, and it's just the other four, I honestly think it might be Carl. Even though they said they can't wait to have the Carl-Negan interaction, if they're doing a lot of Carl-based episodes, I think they may be building him up to us just to have him killed. Realistically, Maggie might be a choice, but I really don't know what to say. But I'm kind of hoping it's Bob, actually, compared to everyone else. I'm kind of hoping it's Bob. It's just me hoping. And Carol coming back, like I said in the last one, she's not in the comics anymore. She was dead by that point. I don't know I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't know how she's gonna play. Maybe she'll be part of the Hunters. I'm baffled. There's some parts of the show that baffle me. They're so good, but I can't really guess what's coming next because they've gone so far away from these comics, and that's what I relied on the first couple of seasons. I relied heavily on these comics, and then they just strayed away season 2 at the end, and it's going to be a surprise. I'm sure it's going to be a big surprise, and I'm sure we're all going to like it, hopefully. I know I will. But yeah, these 2 episodes, that's what I think is going to happen this next part of the season. I mean, there's so much more in my mind per character, but I just don't have time to go through like every single character. I mean, I do. Maybe on Thursday I will go individual characters and think what's going to happen, especially Daryl and Beth, who's not even in comics, but her counterpart is already dead in the comics, Billy Green. There's just so much. There's so much. I mean, this is just so much material for only like 8 episodes, 9 episodes. I can't wait. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe. If you haven't liked The Governor and you're seeing this, go like The Governor, because The Governor is the man. The Governor is the man. You can lose a lot of little pieces, but you can still win the battle. Stay safe, kiddies, and don't get bit.